Everybody inhale deep, exhale.
What Ramon Brown Jr. didn't know when he first learned yoga in the 2nd grade was that his life was about to change.
We was in gangs, dealing with people that was hanging on the corners, etc. So I just was a troubled youth, I would say. I had a lot of problems, a lot of anger problems. I used to just think with my fists and, let my anger overcome me.
Underserved communities like West Baltimore can be a tough place to grow up. But brothers Ali and Atman Smith and their friend Andy Gonzalez grew up here and came back after college with an idealistic enthusiasm to turn this neighborhood around. Ramon was among the first students learning yoga in a free after-school program, part of the Holistic Life Foundation the men created. Tell me about the vision.
The vision was to empower as many people as possible as we could with the practice of yoga, meditation, breath work, and self-love.
I noticed my anger changing. I started to look at situations differently, started to be more proactively versus reactively. Inhale, cobra.
Today, over 2 decades later, Ramon is a full-time instructor teaching in Baltimore City public schools. It changed your life?
Yes, changed my life 100%. I would be dead or in jail right now if I didn't find mindfulness in yoga. And I'm comfortable enough to say that.
You think you would be dead or in jail?
Yes.
If you had not found yoga?
Yes.
We know we can still make a difference by providing them with some tools and techniques to help them help themselves. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do, is give people the tools to help them help themselves, and in turn build and empower them so they can build these communities.
In schools, we introduced attention to meditation, changing the idea of being punitive with kids in crisis and empowering with our Mindful Moment room and our Mindful Moment program, where kids in crisis could come in there, drop in, talk to our staff. We would actively listen or mirror them, then do a practice, a breathing practice, a meditation. And that program has, knocked down suspension numbers, all throughout Baltimore.
The suspension numbers are the most impressive. I think there's a school we've been working at, or that we did work at, that didn't have a suspension for about 8 years.
Over the years, the nonprofit has collaborated with university researchers, including on one study where Baltimore 4th and 5th grade students were taught yoga and breath work for 3 months.
What we found is that students in the yoga program had better responses to stress. So this included that they had fewer kind of troubling, anxious thoughts, and less rumination and less emotional arousal. They also really liked the program and they wanted to do more. And they talked about using the breath even after the program ended.
Do you see a long-term benefit of this for young people?
We definitely need more research on what are the effects of yoga for young people and how does it work exactly. But I do believe yoga shows some real promise for helping young people to promote well-being and healing. Schools are a fantastic environment for promoting yoga and mindfulness.
And now the men are expanding beyond Baltimore to the Akwesasne Mohawk territory.
Breathe in and then breathe out your nose.
Sharing what they've learned with indigenous students in more than a dozen schools on the U.S Canada border. Do you see some of the Native American challenges being very similar to what's happening in the African American community in terms of the challenges around wellness and mindfulness and just to find peace, if you will?
Definitely. When we came back, we were like, man, they have the same issues that we have in Baltimore.
Push your body up. Put your chin up to the ceiling as high.
On a snowy day at the St. Regis Mohawk School, students go to the Mindful Moment room to calm down, do breath work, yoga, and get one-on-one time with an instructor focused on each student's individual needs.
We're essentially the good cops in the whole school. Put your arms out to the sides and make a rainbow.
Reese Jacobs has been teaching since the program began early last year. Now he works with a team making frequent classroom visits to maximize the number of students they serve.
One of the most important things that I feel is more so the impact it can have because of some of the traumas that we face as a community. The trauma stays within the body. So like if a parent is going through that, it impacts their kids. And sometimes the kids aren't even aware of where that comes from, or it shows up in how they're treated and how they're raised.
Since the program began, the principal says it's making an impact.
What we do notice is that the students that are using the Mindful Moment room regularly we do see a big difference. We see a lot less behaviors. The students are a lot calmer.
20 minutes away at Messina Central High School.
Nice deep inhale, fill your belly up.
Their Mindful Moment room started this fall, giving these high school students a new and quiet place to escape.
The first thing we usually do any student that walks in through that door, we're going to teach them how to breathe. That simple breath that we all carry with us all day long. Inhale to the left.
It's very comforting to know that there's a place that I can go to
right.
and just de-stress, ask for help.
I invite you to close your eyes.
The instructors also make classroom visits, teaching mindfulness activities from meditation to movement.
As a principal, I just believe that you can't learn until you feel safe and secure in your space, and the Mindful Moment room is providing that. Because of that, I can see increased attendance in those students, which is already evident this school year.
Each deep breath taking their stress away.
When a kid starts to connect to themselves, start to love themselves, they start to treat themselves differently. They connect to something bigger than just their neighborhood. They can start to connect to the world, and you see how they treat other people.
Do you ever see it stopping?
No, there's no way. People ask us that all the time. This is a movement, I think, that's going to continue till the world ends, for real. I mean, so long as people are breathing and they're functioning, they're going to learn to use their breath to still themselves, to be more present, and to love one another.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.